So a lot of people still think that dietary fat is the bad guy, when in reality, sugar has been the main culprit all along, because sugar's the one over here destroying vitamins and minerals in your body. How does it do this? So sugar activates an enzyme that's responsible for the breakdown of vitamin D. And vitamin D is essentially a hormone. We'll get into that later. But it breaks vitamin D down from its active form to its inactive form. And this usually happens after vitamin D is used properly. But vitamin D is essential for hormone optimization, fat loss, skin health, all of that. And fructose just goes directly to the liver and upregulates an enzyme known as 24-hydroxylase. And the vitamin D ends up turning off, going into inactive mode, and getting excreted. So let's look at another victim. We've got calcium, which ends up getting excreted too, and it ends up going to all the wrong places. It ends up circulating through the bloodstream. And what that does is it triggers much more anxiety, and it overactivates our parathyroid hormone. And this often leads to hypercalcemia, which is just, having elevated calcium levels in your blood. Now, the issue here is that too much calcium in your blood can create kidney stones. It can also mess with your brain signaling. It can weaken your bones, all that delightful stuff. So the sugar forces us to excrete vitamin D, but it also forces us to excrete calcium. But then the cascade continues, where we have sugar and high fructose corn syrup inhibiting our kidney's ability for tubular reabsorption. And tubular reabsorption is just when the water and the nutrients like amino acids, glucose, I think salts too, it just circulates right out of our body's filtrate system, right back into our bloodstream. So, the whole process just helps us reabsorb the vitamins and minerals, all over again. But the question to ask is, what can we do to partially regulate this? And we have three solutions. 1, eat less sugar. 2, you can supplement with chromium. And 3, you can just eat your protein and vegetables 15 minutes before you have carbs. So let's dive into 2 real quick. What's chromium? Chromium is what lets the components of the cell actually absorb glucose. For example, we have the GLUT4 transporter, which is inside the cell, and then it rises to the surface of the cell just to devour glucose like Pac-Man, And if you don't have enough chromium, then you have less absorption of glucose, which leads to more circulating glucose, which leads to higher insulin resistance, which tends to lead to the production of more AGEs, which are just advanced glycation end products. And we absolutely want to avoid that. So let's also factor in that most people tend to be low on magnesium. Magnesium regulates blood sugar. And when that's out of the equation, we're stuck with high blood sugar. So magnesium is just required for insulin production. And all these processes that I just went through, all of them require magnesium for the most part. So let's jump to the third strategy, which is, the first one is eating less sugar, which is always a good idea. The second one is supplementing with chromium. And the third is just, eating some protein and veggies before your carbohydrates. Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Because you're going to lower your insulin need dramatically and increase insulin sensitivity. Just by having your protein and your veggies 15 minutes before you have your carbs can drop your insulin sensitivity by something like 37% and prevent your blood sugar from skyrocketing. So you have greater insulin sensitivity, which usually leads to less cravings, better cognition, and it tends to be much easier to just get lean, much easier. So overall, it's just awesome. And I supplemented with chromium today. I don't do that every single day, but I also don't eat much sugar. Sometimes I'll eat some sugar, man. I had a whole carrot cake the other day. That was great. But the third option, the third strategy, I always put that in play. And then I'm able to just lay on my futon and, recite all this stuff off the dome just for fun, just chilling out here. So yeah, sugar does all that awesome stuff. There's a delightful cascade of events. And if you want that to occur regularly, hey, go for it, Live life, enjoy life, all that good stuff. So that's all. If you actually watched it all the way to the end, I think it's going to be an IGTV video. I intended to just post this for clients only, but you know what? I think more people need to see this. So if you watch it to the end, comment something. I don't know what. It could be something. It could be a crown emoji. I don't know why I like that. It's kind of funny. And I'll see you in the next one.